We'll return with more stories across Nigeria in a moment, but let's take you to Gaza, where the only power station there has run out of fuel after Israel announced it was cutting off energy supplies as well as food and water. But UN Secretary General says essential supplies of food, fuel and water must be allowed to reach civilians in Gaza under Israeli bombardment and blockade. The White House says the U.S. is in talks with Israel, UN and Egypt on allowing some aid in and residents out. The Israeli military said hundreds of thousands of troops are near Gaza, ready to execute the mission given to them. Meanwhile, sirens have been sounding out across northern Israel amid reports that drones have been launched from Lebanon. The death toll in Israel from the Hamas attacks has reached 1,200, while more than 1,100 people have been killed by Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. I have joining me on this development, defense and security analyst Onyekachi Adekoya. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to the viewers.
So there is now a talk about the ground incursion in Gaza. Israel has a larger military, but Hamas understands the terrain. So what would a ground incursion look like?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think that it's going to look very difficult for Israel because remember that within the Gaza Strip, you have almost 2 million people packed into a tight space. There are a number of falling structures already, and Israel already understands that Hamas has underground tunnels, so they are very well dug into the Gaza Strip, and that gives them a lot of operational mobility. They also would have the element of surprise because it's home turf. So that's why you see a number of airstrikes, artillery strikes, which is the preparation before a ground invasion. Now, we're not sure if that invasion would indeed take place because that could spark a wider reaction from the Muslim population. We have over 2 billion Muslims in the world, and already there are calls, I think this Friday, by some persons to have like a protest in support of the Palestinians. So we're not sure if Israel really wants to go ahead, but it looks like the Israeli military is quite emotional, understandably so at this moment. The ground preparations are there. The troop surge, we're seeing the movement of artillery and armor pieces. We're also witnessing some of that, but we're yet to see if and when that ground invasion would occur.
We heard the Nigerian government, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, calling for a ceasefire in Israel, between Israel and Hamas. Do you see a path leading to that at the moment, and what would that take?
It's very difficult to see a ceasefire now because there is no mediator without an interest for now or a skin in the game, and it just shows you how polarized the world is right now. America cannot be said to be, a good mediator. Nigeria was our weight in the Middle East. The heavy hitters, the Qataris, the Saudis, all have made one statement in favor of the Palestinian struggle and the two-state solution. You've seen a number of European countries come out to say unconditionally they will support Israel. So we're not seeing any sign of an immediate ceasefire, though in principle it would look as though that the Israelis have been given a window of some days to exert as much revenge as they can, after which they must beat back the path to a confliction.
And that revenge is coming at a cost to the rest of the world. If you also look at the fact that there's a Ukraine-Russian war that already has implications for the world, but we'll continue to see how this plays out. Thank you so much for talking to us as always. Defense and security analyst Onyekachi Adekoya.